Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The world watched, holding its breath. In every corner of the globe, people paused their daily routines, eyes glued to screens, hearts pounding with anticipation. Manila Accord signed, Philippine-led coalition secures global climate pact. The words blazed across the city's skyline, illuminating the night with hope and possibility. The news flashed across every screen, from the dazzling lights of Times Square to the vibrant markets of Africa, uniting people in a single historic moment. This was not a treaty brokered by Washington or Beijing, but by Manila. For the first time, the world's gaze shifted to Southeast Asia, to a nation once considered a bystander. The Philippines, once overlooked, had become a global leader. Streets erupted in celebration, pride radiating from every corner of the archipelago. The scene in Manila was electric. International delegates, once skeptical, now gave standing ovations. The air buzzed with newfound respect and admiration. The Philippine president spoke not of triumph, but of shared responsibility and hope, invoking Bayanihan, the Filipino spirit of unity. Her words echoed through the hall, reminding all that true leadership is built on compassion and collaboration. The world's media was captivated. We were witnessing history unfold in real time, a turning point that would be remembered for generations. The Philippines was no longer just a rising economy, it was a guiding force, uniting humanity for a common cause. Its voice now carried weight in every global discussion. This moment was the result of years of relentless progress and a nation daring to dream big. Skyscrapers rose where old neighborhoods once stood, and innovation flourished in every sector. The journey was far from easy. It required a seismic shift in mindset, a willingness to challenge the status quo, and the courage to embrace change, and a complete overhaul of old systems. Outdated bureaucracy gave way to digital efficiency, paving the way for a smarter, more agile nation. The Filipino people, known for resilience, rose to the occasion, facing down corruption and division. They stood together, demanding a better future for all. They invested in their greatest asset, themselves. Education became a national priority, empowering a new generation of thinkers, leaders, and innovators. The world had underestimated the archipelago's potential for too long. Now, its islands pulsed with energy, creativity, and ambition. Now, no one could ignore the roar of the Filipino lion. The nation's spirit was unbreakable, its voice impossible to silence. The signs were there: steady growth, innovation, and a relentless drive to push boundaries. Cultural exports quietly conquered the globe, from music and art to technology and cuisine, spreading Filipino influence far and wide. Today, the narrative is being rewritten, a story of ambition, spirit, and a nation taking control of its destiny. The world watched as a new chapter began, full of hope and promise. The Manila Accord was not the beginning, but the chapter that announced a new global leader had arrived. The dawn had broken, and the world would never be the same. For decades, the Philippines was seen as a land of breathtaking beauty and persistent hardship. Famous for its pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and the millions of Filipinos who built new lives abroad, but also known for widespread poverty and the devastation brought by natural disasters. The world's gaze lingered on typhoons, political scandals, and tragedy, often overlooking the untapped potential simmering just beneath the surface of daily life. Yet, a young, dynamic, and English-speaking population was quietly preparing for change, eager to shape their own future. The country's strategic location at the crossroads of Asia was a hidden advantage, connecting east and west, north and south. Centuries of colonization left a complex identity, a tapestry woven with resilience, pride, and deep-seated struggles. The nation was often caught between global powers, its destiny shaped and sometimes dictated by others, leaving a legacy of uncertainty. Corruption and inequality seemed insurmountable, driving many Filipinos to seek opportunity and hope in distant lands. Natural resources were exploited for profit, rarely bringing real benefit to local communities or future generations. Yet the Filipino spirit, Katatagan, remained unbroken, shining through in times of adversity. Each calamity, each setback, forged a stronger, more adaptable people, united by hope and perseverance. A new generation, more educated, globally connected, and empowered by technology, began to question the status quo and demand change. They looked to the success of their Asian neighbors and asked, "Why not us? Why can't we rise too?" That single, powerful question sparked a transformation, a new awakening, that would change everything for the archipelago and its people. The turning point was a revolution of the mind, not the streets. It was a quiet but powerful shift, as people began to realize that true change starts from within, by challenging old beliefs and daring to imagine a better future. A new generation of technocrats, scientists, and entrepreneurs returned home, bringing global expertise and a fierce love for their country. They carried with them not just knowledge, but a renewed sense of hope and responsibility to uplift their homeland. They saw opportunities, not problems. Where others saw obstacles, they envisioned solutions and new possibilities for growth. Leveraging technology, they created transparency and accountability. Citizens could track government spending in real time. This digital transformation empowered ordinary people to participate in governance and demand better services. Social media became a tool for unity, not division. Online platforms connected communities, spread positive stories, and mobilized support for meaningful causes. Their slogan, "Walang Iwanan, no one gets left behind," became a rallying cry for inclusivity and collective progress. Corrupt networks crumbled under data, transparency, and public support. The people's vigilance and access to information made it impossible for corruption to hide. Evidence-based policies replaced political games. Decisions were now guided by facts, research, and the needs of the people. Massive investments in education and infrastructure followed. Teachers were empowered, classrooms modernized, and new schools rose across the nation. STEM education became a national priority, inspiring a new wave of innovators and problem solvers ready to shape the future. The DREAM program launched smart cities and resilient infrastructure, integrating sustainability and technology into everyday life. People began to believe in their government and themselves again. A sense of pride and possibility swept through communities. The diaspora returned, bringing skills and capital. Brain gain accelerated development as returning Filipinos shared their expertise and global networks. The government welcomed returnees, making it easy to start businesses and reintegrate. Support systems and incentives encouraged entrepreneurship and innovation. The Philippines was no longer losing its best and brightest. It was calling them home to build the future. Together they were shaping a nation where dreams could finally become reality. With good governance and a highly educated populace, the Philippines became the Silicon Archipelago. Special economic zones and government support fueled a vibrant startup ecosystem. Filipino ingenuity tackled global problems, especially in green technology and renewables. The nation achieved energy independence with a smart, renewable-powered grid. Filipino fintech brought financial services to billions across Asia and Africa. The Digital Nomad Paradise Initiative turned islands into global tech hubs. The Philippines created its own model, prioritizing work-life balance, sustainability, and social impact. Economic growth soared. The country entered the world's top 10 economies. Poverty rates dropped to single digits. The Made in the Philippines label became synonymous with innovation. The nation became a donor, not a recipient, a lender, not a borrower. Economic independence fueled political autonomy. The Philippines' new voice on the global stage was impossible to ignore. Its tech-powered future was now a reality. As the Philippines grew, so did its need to protect its sovereignty. The archipelagic defense doctrine focused on deterrence, maritime security, and disaster response. The local defense industry built state-of-the-art ships, drones, and surveillance systems. Cyber Command defended against digital threats. The Philippines became an equal partner in regional security, leading the ASEAN Maritime Security Initiative. Its military excelled in humanitarian aid and disaster relief, earning global respect. Soldiers became guardians, skilled, professional, and embodying national values. Strength provided stability and peace, the military's greatest purpose to protect, serve, and uplift the nation. The Philippines experienced a cultural renaissance that swept the globe. OPM, original Filipino music, topped global charts, transcending language barriers. Filipino films and series gained international acclaim, telling unique, relatable stories. Filipino actors and directors became global icons. Fashion designers reimagined traditional fabrics for the world stage, championing sustainability. The Barong Tagalog and Terno became global fashion statements. Filipino creativity became a powerful export and source of pride. This cultural wave reshaped the world's perception of the Philippines. Old stereotypes faded, replaced by a new image, creative, dynamic, and cool. Filipinos everywhere felt a renewed sense of pride. The Philippines became a cultural epicenter and trendsetter. The Philippine superpower was built on investing in people and the environment. The Bayanihan Blueprint focused on education, infrastructure, and renewable energy. Education was reimagined, critical thinking and digital literacy for all. Public schools were modernized, teachers became respected professionals. Infrastructure connected the archipelago, unifying the economy and reducing inequality. Cities were rebuilt to withstand disasters, turning vulnerability into strength. The nation became a global leader in renewables, achieving energy independence. This move brought political autonomy and moral authority in climate talks. The Philippines didn't just talk about a green transition, it delivered. The world now looked to the Philippines as a model for sustainable development. With its place on Earth secure, the Philippines reached for the stars. The Philippine Space Agency launched satellites designed by Filipino engineers. These satellites closed the digital divide, boosted agriculture, and improved disaster response. Maritime surveillance protected national interests. The space program created new industries and inspired a generation. The first Filipino astronaut's journey became a symbol of limitless ambition. The program championed peaceful, inclusive space exploration. The Philippines partnered globally, sharing data for climate monitoring. Space became a tool for diplomacy and development. By reaching for the stars, the nation elevated its global leadership. The Philippines' true superpower was its compassionate leadership. It led by example, guided by bayanihan, shared humanity, and empathy. The world, weary of conflict, embraced this new approach. The Philippines championed fairness, climate action, and empowerment for all nations. Its moral authority came from lived experience and real solutions. The Filipino spirit, resilient, optimistic, and warm, became a diplomatic force. The nation's unity inspired a fractured world. The Philippines proved greatness is measured by compassion and contribution. Imagine a world led by empathy and shared destiny. The story of the Philippines is a story of hope for us all.